Another seriously impressive performance from your team. How much did you enjoy it?
A lot, but it's because it doesn't happen many times that I could just sit back and enjoy. And I thought it was the situation against Tottenham when we were 5-1 up, but that they came back to 5-3. But today we kept control over the game and won with 5-0.
Do you feel like you've gone up a gear in the last few weeks? You mentioned the Spurs game where you scored 6. I don't know, maybe since the week of Real and City, do you feel like you've found another level as a team?
I think it's always a bit in a season. We've spoken about before the game about conceding the chances. Today, I think we conceded 2 or 3. One hit the bar, one hit the post. So and Leicester got 2 chances and scored 1. So that is a bit also in attack. So I think during the whole season we've created quite a lot of chances. And now, like on a day like today, we scored many. Although I said to the players just a second ago that it was 3-0 at half time, but it wouldn't have been weird if after 10 minutes it would have already been 3-0 because we created a lot of chances today.
Hard to think of new Mo Salah questions for you, but yeah, I mean,
contract.
Well, we'll leave that to the end. Is he the best player in the world at the moment? Do you think he must be close?
If you look at his numbers, you can't argue that. But there are different players playing in different leagues, so that have a lot of quality. But Mo is definitely up there at the moment. If you look at his numbers, but also like today, he could have even scored more. But I also liked again his work rate for the team without the ball. So yeah, he's in a very good place. You can't argue about that. And let's hope he can stay like this for a long time.
In a team sense, everyone will pick out different things. What did you like most today?
The way we played with the ball, the way we positioned ourselves, the amount of chances we created, the control we took over the game. In an away game, it's always difficult because there were I think 2 or 3 minutes in the game where we lost a few easy balls and immediately the fans were behind the team. So to control an away game is not always easy because the fans don't always need a lot to be happy about if they play Liverpool. But I don't think we gave the West Ham fans a lot today to cheer about, and that was the most positive thing. So
obviously this is the last game of the year. Give us Arne Slot's review of 2024 from a personal point of view. Obviously began with you in Rotterdam, manager of another big club in Feyenoord, ends with you, manager of Liverpool, top of the Premier League. How would you sum it up for yourself?
Yeah, as a great year. So working at a great club at Feyenoord, I was wondering, can I find another club where I can even have a better time now? At the moment, I can say it's definitely not less or not as good as my time at Feyenoord. It's probably even better because it's special to do this in another country as well. Great players to work with in both teams. And a whole year with only 1 loss.
Is that right?
That was Nottingham Forest.
And they're second now.
And they are second now, yeah. So it's been a good half season at Feyenoord, and it's been a good half of a season here at Liverpool.
So you won a league with Feyenoord. What is the key to seeing it through?
Consistency. Enough challenges will come ahead of us, starting with Man United at home, which is a big game. Even if you don't look at the league table, it's already a big game, let alone you want to keep your lead as long as you can. So I think it's 9 games in the month of January, if you include the 1st of February, which is of course not January, but you know what I mean. So many games are played. You saw today again injury of Joe Gomez.
How is he?
If a player says he wants to stop, he has to be changed in a sprint. Then we all know it's a hamstring, and we all know it's going to take a while before he's back. I don't know how long, but he will be out for quite a bit. And these situations can happen in the season, so a long way to go, but a very good first half year.
So should we do the contract question now?
If you want.
Mo Salah.
Well, Mo, you must be getting sick of these interviews and running out of space for these awards. Unbelievable again today. But should we start with the team? Was that a very good, very dominant Liverpool performance?
Yeah, of course. I'm glad for the result. We managed to score the goal early. And yeah, we dominated the game very well, so that's the most important thing. So we managed also to score a few goals.
Yeah. Should we start for you with your first assist? Because it starts with a really clever bit of play, because you must know that you're offside. So just tell us the picture you see, and it ends with a double nutmeg.
I think it's quite similar to Arsenal goal. Also, I was offside, then I left the ball to Darwin. This one, Lucho was shouting behind me or screaming. Then I knew that it was offside.
So you've got to be really switched on for that.
Yeah, I had to run toward the goalie, the goalkeeper. Then he just like get the ball and cross it to me. So I managed to pass it to Cody also. Clever play.
Please don't be insulted by this, but did you mean both of the nutmegs?
I don't think it's the first one. Second one, yes, because the only option I had this one, but the first one, I just want to go ball inside and shoot. But I was lucky to also get it inside and had to touch another time. Then yeah, but second one, yes, first one, no.
So, like I said, another record-breaking season. That's now 8 games you've scored and assisted in this season. No player's ever done that over the whole 38 games. I mean, you're on course for a Ballon d'Or season here, for an all-time great Premier League season. Those individual targets, along with the Premier League title, are they really on your mind?
The only thing in my mind, to be fair, I want Liverpool to win the league, and I just want to be part of that. That's the only thing I really focused since the beginning of the season. So I will do my best for the team to win the trophy, and we are in the right direction. But of course, there is a few other teams that really try to catch up with us, and they're very good teams. So we just need to, again, to stay focused and humble and just work hard and just go again.
When you walked into the room, I said, "Oh, Mo, you're getting better," and you said, "I try to." How much of what we see today comes from that? You're never satisfied. You're always hungry. You're always trying to get better.
Yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy the game. To be fair, I was like a little bit disappointed from a few chances I missed today. But in the end of the day, I came here for the result. I want the team to win. I want to do something in the game, and I'm glad I did. But I'm always hungry for more. Hopefully, next one I will score more. But yeah, the most important thing, again, team won the game.
Do you know, actually, during the match, I was reminded that last time you came here in April, that wasn't a happy day at all. How much did the end of it wasn't, was it? How much did the end of last season fuel what we're seeing now?
It was a funny thing you said, because the players before the dressing room, before the game in the dressing room, they also were like they told me like, "Oh, you remember what happened here last year?" And the guys were laughing.
Who brought it up?
Virgil started with it, but yeah, we had a little laugh of that. But yeah, we had not a nice memory here last year, but I'm glad this one we had better one.
Ready for the contract question? I know you're not going to stand here and tell us, but are you hoping to be able to give some good news soon?
No, we are far away from that. But again, I don't want to put something in the media and people start saying stuff, but nothing really move on. But I'm focused with the team. Hopefully we win the Premier League.
Well, thank you for answering that. You're the player of the match, of course.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, he's the player of the match. He's 17 goals in 18 games in the Premier League this season. He's averaging a goal, as you can see, almost every 93 minutes. We'll come to some of those numbers in a moment. He said we're nowhere near making an announcement there. In an ideal world for all Liverpool fans, would you hope when we get to January, when the window's open, when all 3 of these Liverpool players could, if they wanted to, speak to other clubs, that would be the ideal scenario for Liverpool to release a statement and say, here he is, signed, sealed and delivered?
Yeah, that's ideal, isn't it? Absolutely.
Because otherwise it's going to go on, isn't it, through this month when the window's open. And...
Yeah, but no, I don't think anyone's expecting him to leave in this window.
No, but he could announce something, couldn't he, for the end of the season?
Yeah. Well, in January he could, yeah, but that's going to happen, though. He's going to get to... nothing's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 days, so that's going to happen, that bird's flow. And I think at some point it will just happen and it'll just go bang and you know... But I don't think people will be getting regular updates, let's say, from the club. You know, these things tend to happen in private, and obviously with 3 big players, it's getting a lot of traction, a lot of news, a lot of columns in the newspapers and whatever. But I don't think there will be a drawn-out period or a preparation period, let's say, from the club or from Mo Salah from that point of view. He'll keep getting asked, and he'll probably keep batting it off since his first one, when he first came out. But as I say, I mean, I've said on this show a few times, I'm still confident that Mo Salah will sign. I don't see why or where or anything else he should go. And if he was that against signing, he would never have came out in the first place and made a bit of a fuss about it. That sounded like a person that wants to get something done, but is a little bit agitated that it wasn't happening quick enough, let's say. So I'd be more confident with Mo Salah and with Virgil van Dijk for that matter. I'm a little bit not sure about Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's the one that I'm not that confident about. I just think that the stars align, the pieces fit in the jigsaw. Real Madrid desperate for a right back. You know, their current right back's ageing. Their current right back has got a cruciate knee ligament injury. They're desperate for a right back. Trent Alexander-Arnold, nothing left on his contract. On a free at the end of the year. It's a new challenge. His good friend Jude Bellingham's out there. There's a lot of things that piece together that makes me think, you know what, that one could happen. I'd be more confident about Virgil and Mo Salah staying.
I mean, who on earth would get their head turned by the white shirt of Real Madrid when you're playing for Liverpool anyway? Is that the only downside for Liverpool fans at the moment? Because everything on the pitch is inch perfect. But these three major players off it, all out of contract at the end of the season, is the talk of every Liverpool supporter that you bump into at the moment.
Well, like I say, I think they're doing fantastic for the football club. They're staying very, very present. All of them, they're available every single week. We're seeing so many injuries throughout the Premier League, throughout the footballing world. These guys play at the highest level. They represent their country. I think they're absolutely fantastic what they're doing. They're staying so focused. They're staying so calm. They're playing at such a high level. Football's a business. They're making business decisions and they're staying calm and they're letting the people above them have the conversations. But who knows what those conversations are? I certainly don't, and all of us would be speculating. We're putting jigsaw pieces together. I just want to give great credit to three top players who are doing a fantastic job in a really difficult league. And they're showing up every single week, making themselves available and putting themselves on the line and doing an incredible job.
That's a really good point, isn't it? Because, joking apart, you have been in this situation, and it is easy for your head to be somewhere else sometimes with uncertainty, short term certainly, not knowing where you're going to be next season in case of all three of them. But it hasn't for one iota affected any of them at any time. Quite the opposite.
Quite the opposite, yeah. They're all, in fact, if you could create a more perfect scenario, I don't think you could really. I mean, the way Mo Salah's value is going up week by week. I mean, I bet you Liverpool wish they had done it a year ago. It might have been a little bit cheaper. Now, you can't be without him. You can't be without Virgil van Dijk. These are two, probably, you're looking at the best right-sided forward and the best centre-half in the world. You just don't find them anywhere else, and they're proving it every single week. And they're going further and further clear in the Premier League, and they're at the top of the Champions League table, and they're in the semi-finals of the Cup, and the other Cup's about to start. This is they are in the best position possible. If you're looking at the business decision that Joe's talking about, they're absolutely flying from that point of view. So yeah, but fair play to them as well. As you say, you can get a little bit distracted. It's more worrying if you're not you don't feel like you're in a strong position, or if the club are not showing you love. If they're thinking of selling you or things like that, that can distract you because you're thinking, right, they don't really love me. Where am I going to go next, etc. But at the moment, they'll be clambering to sign them. I mean, it's impossible that anything else could be the case. And they're holding all of the aces in this negotiation.
Senior pros in a dressing room in a Premier League, which isn't necessarily all about ability. The levels are so high. You've got two senior pros and Trent to an extent. I know he's only 26
He's
in
the
numbers.
vice-captain though, Joe, isn't he?
He's the vice-captain, and you've got a new manager that's coming, and it has gone great. Absolutely brilliant. Arne Slot's done a fantastic job. But there are going to be moments. There's no Jordan Henderson anymore. There's no James Milner anymore. There's these really high standard setters that people who are trying to come through, who are trying to find their feet, the Darwin Núñez, the Harvey Elliott's, Curtis Jones, as much as they're trying to get better and improve, they know they've got that safety blanket. They've got, well, Virgil's going to perform. We know that Mo's going to perform and score us goals. We know that Trent's going to create something out of nothing. That is an incredible safety blanket away from the business side of things and away from how they're playing to help progress the younger players to watch what a great example they are as professionals. So there's so many different elements to this.
Yeah. Let's look at Mo Salah today. I know we sometimes joke about assists, which we'll come to in a moment, but they were proper assists today. But his goal, West Ham again, caught in possession.
Yeah, they got caught in possession, but this is what Liverpool do. I mean, they hunt down in packs, they try to win the ball back early. That takes a lot of energy because those same players that are trying to win the ball back, they're then winning the ball and then they're back on the offensive. So they're doing a double shift there while, the centre-halves are stood on the halfway line watching and admiring. They're putting in all the work. So it's brilliant play. You can only do that if you're really fit, if you've got the right attitude, and tactically you're all spot on. And it was a really good finish by Mo Salah. He took his first touch with the sole of his foot, almost rolled it away from him, and then he knew what he was going to do beforehand. He gave the goalkeeper the eyes, pulled it into the near post, and he's become a real top finisher. I didn't think I'd ever say that 10 years ago. Not many people. In fact, lots of people thought he was a really poor finisher. Now he's just become, through practice and dedication and the right mindset, and I suppose doing it, you know, the more you do something, the better you get, the better your decision-making becomes. And now he's all of a sudden, you know, lethal in front of goal and very rarely misses.
Yeah, and from a defender goalkeeper's point of view, you have, I guess, these certain players, like Areola would have been today. It's Mo Salah. In fact, he always seems to score against West Ham. I think it's his second favourite team, 13 he's got against them now. You just got that extra edge when you're facing these guys.
Well, yeah, look, he's rolled it out of his feet there, like Michael said, to do his trademark finish into the far top corner and managed to rip it back past Kilman, I think it was. So Areola's already hedged his bets to go to his right. As I said at half-time, he's actually more agile than he gave himself credit for and got there quite comfortably, but he's scrambling your head. The Mo Salah finish is out of his feet into the far corner, and when he doesn't do it, not quite sure, ends up making a bad decision with his left hand where, look, this is completely hypothetical, but this is someone else. Say Curtis Jones did the same thing. His mind's not as scrambled, he's a little bit more set, and maybe he makes the save. Again, totally hypothetical, but I'm just talking from a goalkeeper's point of view. You almost brace yourself when you're up against someone who's at the high level that Mo Salah is.
Wow, that is fascinating.
Well, it is, and I was thinking actually in the game before, we were watching Erling Haaland, and he started adding a dink to his game now, and lots of goalkeepers will now stand up tall for a lot of the time, and now he can bring back the slot finish at any point. When you mix it up a little bit, you leave these guys guessing, and that's what Mo Salah's got. You know, as I say, he used to be quite one-dimensional. He would miss a lot of chances. Now he can go either side. I've seen him dink the goalkeeper. I've seen him go round the goalkeeper. He mixes it up. He's actually an all-round finisher now, and that's a problem for anybody.
Even another attribute, he was running through at the end, and I'm thinking, solo goal, 4-0, he's going to go for it. So as a goalkeeper, you're almost set for Salah to shoot, and then he shifts it to Jota. And I'm just giving you the perspective of the goalkeeper. You can end up getting yourself in a zone for a certain player, so prolific. You talked about Erling Haaland at the start of the season. I think we were doing it together. He didn't have that dink. He was almost open up in the kind of left-footed Henry. And then at the start of the season, he was quite comfortably ripping it back across. Then it was at West Ham, actually. Then he dinked. And I'm thinking as a goalkeeper, like, how can... You end up setting very neutrally, thinking he could do anything here. And if he does any kind of decent finish, you're done. Whereas other players, you can kind of... As a goalkeeper, you'll sit up against them, someone you've got slightly less respect for, I hate to say it, but you stand up and almost shift them in a position where you want to make that save. But right now with Mo Salah, you just have to stay incredibly neutral. And you will see goals going in fairly central with him because the goalkeeper is literally planning for anything. And the speed of the ball goes past him.
Wonderful insight. 17 in 18 league games for Mo Salah this season. Here's the man who's delighted to have him now. And he hopes he's got him next season and beyond as well. The Liverpool manager, Arne
from him as well, have reached peak interest. What are your thoughts, Jamie, at this stage?
I think to a certain extent, Arne is reaping the benefits of a really unique, strange situation where your best three players are coming out of their contract. And they are all playing at such a high level. They're all hungry, they all want to be successful. First thing on their mind is to win the Premier League. Secondly, they obviously want to get their contractual situation sorted out, be it staying at Liverpool or if it's to go elsewhere. They have got themselves in the most incredible position. Because if you're, as an example, talking about Mo Salah, you're his agent, his numbers right now are as good as when he first come to Liverpool. And that's absolutely frightening. I get Liverpool's position because they're probably thinking, we've got a player here that's 32, 33 in June.
Yeah.
What do we do? How long do we give him? You know, do we want to give him he might want a 4-year contract as an example. Right now, he looks like he could play for the next 4 years, but you just don't know. Some players, all of a sudden, they reach the peak, and then maybe their levels start to drop. You think about 2 players that signed huge contracts in the Premier League history, was Ozil, maybe Aubameyang. They signed the contracts, their form dropped. I don't see that with these 3 players. Whatever they do, whatever they decide to do, I think they're so hungry, they're so effective, so good at what they do, and it's playing into Liverpool's hands because their form is so good. They are playing at such a high level. It's actually a fascinating situation that's going to play out. I honestly think he's going to end up signing his contract. They're going to have to find some middle ground on what they want, because he still wants the top money, but Liverpool are probably a little bit nervous about his age and not wanting to give players because of his age and everything, maybe giving him too long a deal. But because he's playing so well, he's almost forced that issue for Liverpool to have to give him what they want. I do genuinely believe that. And it's the same with Virgil. Virgil was such a Rolls Royce. I can see him playing for another 3 years at this level. Imagine letting him go. If he gets to the end of his contract and you can't agree a deal, imagine how many clubs would want him. Every single club would want to give him whatever they want and to pay him as a free agent. So I think to a certain extent, Liverpool just have to give him. I've said my piece on Trent. Whatever happens there he's in a difficult situation. He's in a different situation because of his age. But those two are just playing so well, and they're making it in a lovely way, so perfect for Liverpool. But they're making it very hard for Liverpool with his contract situation because of how well they're all playing.
We'll come back to Salah, and of course we'll see the influence that he had on this game in just a second. But Luis Diaz was the player who opened the goal scoring. That's 2 and 3 for him now, having not scored in 7 games before that.
Yeah, another player in this front 3 for Liverpool who just, function at such a high level. The first part of this is brilliant. The second part's fortuitous, and then the finish is excellent. It's just this first touch. He's so sharp. We said before the game, how good he is on the last line, the turn. He actually drifted out into both wide areas throughout the game. He played down the middle as a 9, but he was able to roam, and that's what got him the space, and it was a wonderful finish to open it up.
So here's what we were discussing at half-time. Did Mo Salah mean this? And he said no to the first part, yes to the second part. So
you called it, so you said you were convinced he didn't mean it.
Well, my gut, sometimes you have to go with your gut, and in the moment, I didn't think he meant this touch. I mean, you made an excellent point about the weight of pass, but this one here, to me, it just didn't seem like he meant it. And the second part, you can tell he has, but it's the balance and the movement and the way he sort of athletically moves his body that he actually just manages to get on the end of it anyway, and it creates this chance for Gakpo. You can just watch it in slow motion. I think he's meant to take it around the front face of his body with his right foot and to get that finish across. He ends up getting a little bit lucky, but the second part is so instinctive. He manages the little nutmeg, which moves it into the path of Gakpo.
It obviously did, because he didn't mean it. Reminds me a little bit of when the great Dennis Bergkamp did that bit of skill on Dabizas when he was playing against Newcastle.
Definitely meant that.
No, but I remember saying to him, because it was to Thierry Henry, I said, Thierry, what was your view on that? He said, yeah, because it was Dennis Bergkamp. Of course he meant it, because he was the only player that could do such a skill. But there is an argument to say, well, did he actually mean to do it in the way that he did? But because he was so talented, of course he did. And that one was a strange one. And I think you were right, Izzy. It was a bit scruffy, wasn't it? But because of the player that he is, you think, did he mean it, didn't he? But it was obviously so effective.
Yeah.
You mentioned Mohamed Salah and the sort of length of his Liverpool career and how well he's performed in each of those seasons. He's up to 20 goals again now, and he's done that in every single season, Jamie.
Yeah, this was one of those where he's just reversed it. The keeper, I think, should say this. But Liverpool was so aggressive at that point, so pressing high up the pitch. You've got Jones, you've got McAllister winning the ball high, and then once you get it to him, he finds that bottom corner. The keeper should do better. This is the best angle for what the keeper does. He gets such a good left hand on it. It just goes under him. But another goal and another big moment for him.
And those numbers that you were talking about, there they are in blue and white. Mohamed Salah, and the number of appearances taken to reach those 20 goals. I mean, this is his joint second most effective season in terms of goal scoring. We talked about his effectiveness in terms of goals and assists. This is purely on goals.
And that was in his first season, Kelly, and this is in his last season. So it just shows you that, hopefully not his last season, but this is just the level that this guy's playing at and the numbers that he puts up. And that's why I say he is, whether he's the best, that's everyone will have their own argument on it, but the most effective, because those numbers are just frightening. It is absolutely frightening. What you showed a minute ago, a goal or an assist every 15 minutes. Imagine having that in your team. Some people, you're looking for, can we get one goal as a team? He's doing that on his own. It's frightening what he's doing at the moment, isn't it?
And what it does as well is it embeds belief in the squad, because if you are behind in a game or, the game's tight, there's that belief always that get the ball to Mo Salah and he'll create something, he'll make something happen. And the other thing it's doing is it's creating competition in the squad. You go in like the likes of Gakpo, Diaz, Nunes even, who's a little bit off it at present. But it says to them, this is the level now. And you've got to hit that, and you can see what it's doing to Gakpo in particular. It's raising his level. And it's saying, well, Gakpo probably wants to do what Mo Salah's done at that football club.
And he's so fit as well.
Yeah,
he's like, every now and again he takes his shirt to show us that, embarrass every man out there. But he's completely ripped. You know, he's not going to put on weight. He's not all of a sudden going to go, oh, I've got my new contract now, I'm going to sit back. He's going to want to do this for another couple of years to keep proving everybody right. But he just wants to show what he can do. He's a phenomenon, the guy. He's absolutely incredible.
The fourth goal came from a long-range hit by Trent Alexander-Arnold, which on second look had quite a hefty deflection.
Yeah, but if you look at his position here, he's got licence to roam, and yes, he's very, very lucky. Yes, he can hit these from distance, and they don't need a deflection to go in. We've seen that with Trent Alexander-Arnold. But it's when we're talking about Slot and the tweaks he's made, and what he's done with Trent is he's given him licence to go that far in field, to then get himself into a position where he can shoot from there, because he's got the ability and also he's got the angle on it, and he hits it true. And he's lucky with the deflection, but it's no surprise, again, a player in form getting on the score sheet for Liverpool.
5 different...
Hey guys, in this video I will show how the standings are currently and our top scorer.